Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sunday Night Live. This is a pre-recorded video as we have visitors this evening. So this is Sunday the 20th of April. It's Easter Sunday, so happy Easter to those of you watching. We're going to make a center step bridge card, which is inspired by what's her name, Connie Stewart at Simple Stamping, and so this is, I've done a template because I've had to adjust it to our size cardstock. I have used inches though, just because it is a little bit easier to do that, but this is how I work through the process of recreating something where I have to update the measurements. As you'll see, I've got a few little extra score lines in there that I don't need, so what I've done is I've pop that there so that you can see what it is, and you can go back to it to have a look at. Basically we're going to do 2 score marks at 1 inch wide, and then we're going to do a score which is our halfway mark, then we're going to do some cutting and then a score mark. Now this piece here is a complete flat piece, alright, and then we've got a piece here. So let's get on to that. I have actually made sure it works on my cardstock and then cut my designer series paper. So we're just going to go through this with you. So we're going to pop this in so this is a standard half an A4 piece of paper, alright, so you'll see that I've already done some cutting and some scoring, but we're going to go over it with you to get your cutting blade out of the way, and then we're going to pop it in at 1 inch, and then you're going to pop your score. Okay, so we're going to pop this in. The way that I like to do it is I like to come in, so we need to come in excuse me, 1 inch. So in inches, our card base is 5 7/8 wide, so I'm going to come into 4 7/8. I'm going to pop my score blade here. Hopefully you might be able to see if I go a bit closer. You'll see that there's a little notch mark at the top and bottom of our scoring blade and on the sides here, which is also on our cutting blade. So we're going to line those up with 4 7/8, and I like to just score out because then I don't go too far that way. So if I get it in the right place there, I'm going to score out there, and then I'm going to come across to the other side. Let's make that a little bit bigger for you. Now my phone's decided to do something weird. And then we're going to come to 1 inch and we're going to score out that way. Then we're going to pop our cardstock down to 2 inches. And we're going to come back to 1 inch on the cutting arm, and we're going to score out that way. And then we're going to come across to 4 7/8 again, and we're going to score the last inch of the card. Then we're going to come down to 5 1/8. Now 5 1/8, come down to 5 inches, and then it's the 2 little marks on the in between the half, and we're going to score all the way across. Alright, so that gives us this score line, and then these 2 score lines here, which we've done. So we're going to rotate our card, say 90 degrees, and we're going to pop it in at 1 inch, so it's lined up at the top here, or if you'd prefer 4 7/8 here, and this is where we're going to cut. So we're going to cut from that score line that goes all the way across down to our first score line there, which is down to 1. So we're going to cut down to there and up to 5 1/8. You can rotate it, which is probably, that's how I did it, but if that's a little bit confusing for you, you can then come up to, so I did it there, so you could flip it. I prefer to rotate it this way, pop it in at 1 inch. You've got your score lines that you can work from, so you know that you've got 1 inch here, so it'll be 4 7/8, and you're going to come up to 3 1/4, or use your score line here. On my colour cardstock it's a bit hard to see, but when I was doing it on the paper it was a lot easier to see. Okay, so then you're going to pop that in there. So you've got those, this one here, your 2 score cuts there, and then your 2 1-inches there. To get this middle piece, you're going to come in at 4 1/8, so it's giving you a 1-inch thing up here, and you're going to come in at 4 7/8 through to 1, or 1 up to 4 7/8. So you're cutting in between, you're scoring, sorry, not cutting, you're scoring in between those 2 cut marks, so nothing on the side here. Okay, and that's pretty much it. So then, let me come out a bit so you can see it a bit better. So you should have something that looks like that. Okay, so this one here, we're going to score all the way across. Where have I put my bone folder? Score that one all the way across. Then you're going to push, you're going to lift this one, and you're going to grab that so that it pinches that, and then you're going to score that. Once you've done that, I found the easiest way is if you just push down gently, it actually folds all your pieces nicely like that. So that essentially is a centre step card, which you would possibly be familiar with. The difference with this one is that these 2 pieces come over the front. So we'll just burnish those so that they're nice and strong, and then it sits like that. And then to make it a bridge card, we've got another piece that's going to come and sit across the front there, so that when it sits out, it sits, it kind of pops up the front there. So that is our card base. Now we're just going to do some decorating. I'm using some DSP that is retiring. I don't know. Oh, that goes up there. So this piece here, this panel is 1 inch deep. So I've made that 7/8 by 3 3/4. So the inside here is 3 7/8. So I've just taken 1/8 of an inch off. If you want a bigger matte piece or another layer, then that's you can totally do that. So all of the strips are 7/8, and this one is 3. So this goes at the top here. So I've got 2 of those, which is 3 inches. And then I've got 4 pieces for our panels here, which are 3 7/8. And I can't remember which way they go now. But that's alright, they'll go that way. There we go. Figured it out. There and there. So they're 7/8 by 7/8. Again, if you want smaller pieces, so 7/8, if we look on here, 7/8 is this line here that is just before the 2 lines before the 1. So if you have a look over here, it's like 2.2 centimeters, because 1 inch is 2.5 centimeters. So it's like about 3 mil if you were doing it in millimeters. So that's going to be our piece there. This piece here in the middle is our 3 3/4 by, it's by 4. Oh, because it being, so 3 7/8, that should be, no, 3 3/4 by 4 for the depth, and then 3 3/4 by 7/8 across there. Your bridge, you can make any size you want. This one is 3/4 of an inch, so then the designer series paper is half, just to give a little bit of interest. You could use a different designer series paper pattern. I've just used the same one that I had out. So let's pop this all together. You don't have to decorate all the pieces if you don't want to. If you want to have, this one's going to the back essentially, so you could leave it, but I had a bit of scrap, so I decided that I was going to pop it on. and I've actually gone with the kind of a tone on tone look with the Pretty Peacock, because I was going to cut out some flowers out of the DSP and just put them on the front. But we'll see. We'll see if that happens. There's some glue. You might decide that you don't need to put anything along the bottom because you can't see it, and that's entirely up to you whether you want to do that or not. So I'm just going to pop that there, and then these ones on the other side. Oh, that's why it's a little bit tricky to see. I haven't got my lights on. So we have family from on Matt's side from visiting from Australia, so we thought it was a really good time to offer to have other people come and catch up all at one place. So we've got about 30 people here for dinner tonight for a family catch up. We had normally we have my family Easter hunt and stuff with all the kids on Easter Sunday, but we did that yesterday so that we didn't have to rush, and that was really nice, just really chill, sitting around chatting and laughing, and yeah, it was really good. So this is our bridge. So when we fold it, that's going to come up like that. So you can see I've got that. I'm going to put a white panel to write on, and then we want these to come over the front like that, so that when they stand up they come forward. And then we're going to pop this panel, and I think I might put some dimensionals on there. Just going to pop a dimensional on each end there. And I've broken a couple of fingernails over the weekend, so that's been fun trying to get stuff off. I feel like it needs to go that way, and I'm going to pop it, line it up there, and that's how, I don't know, you can't really see it very well from the front when it's like that, but it kind of sits like that, sits up by itself, fits into a standard envelope. Easy peasy. So what I'm going to do is, then I've got, so this is the designer series paper, which in May is retired. It's not carried over. A lot of our designer series paper is being carried over, but this one is not. So what I thought is, let's go from about here. It's not an easy one to cut around, but that's okay. Maybe like that. We'll see. It might be that I decide I need to do some stamping, but I'm going to try, because this is a really, if you've got so much designer series paper, which I know that we all do, this is a really great way of actually using it, because otherwise we think, oh no, can't use it, it's too pretty, whereas actually, what else, why did we buy it? I'm going to use it. So if you are someone that has lots of designer series paper, use it up, because it makes really quick, easy, beautiful cards. It takes a whole lot of the work out of it for you. If you are interested in more designer series paper, I will be doing a mini share, and it's a mini share because I'm not using the online exclusives, because I can't guarantee that they will still be available, but when we get it, but there are 5 new designs of designer series paper in the annual catalogue. So usually we get quite a large number of designer series paper, new designer series paper in the catalogue, but this year they've actually carried over a few, which is really interesting. Last year, the mini catalogue, they carried some as well, which is really nice. Actually, no, the annual they did too. So it's nice to be able to use them a little bit longer, because if I'm only doing one class a month and then doing an online, then I don't get to use it as much as I possibly could. So there is a paper share on my Facebook page and on my Instagram. Just let me know. I've sold 2 shares already. No payment is expected until I've sold all of the shares, and I need a minimum of 4 people to participate in the share. And let me just double check. I think it's 25 I think, which is 25 collected from me. If you don't live in Auckland or you want it shipped to you, yeah, it's 25 plus shipping. So Auckland shipping is $6. I want to say $6.50. Within the North Island, $6.70, and South Island, $6.80. That's for urban delivery. Rural delivery is an extra $3.65. But if you are close by to someone else and you want to combine your shipping, then that is totally okay with me as well. Okay. In fact, it's easier for me to just do one package. Oh, that's quite big, isn't it? So let's go around here. I also have put up a promotion thing for In Colour Club this year. Every year when we get a new annual catalogue, we get new in colours, and so the 5 that are leaving are Boho Blue, Pebble Path, yeah, Copper Clay, and I've taken them out already. Copper Clay, Moody Mauve, and Wild Wheat. They're all being retired. So there's some new ones coming. There are only 4 of them in ink pads because there is a quality issue with one of the ink pads. But there are 5 new colours that you can get in everything else except the ink pads. You get the 4 ink pads. Timid Tiger, Darling Duckling, Cloud Cover, Secret Sea, which is very pretty, and Strawberry Slush is making a comeback too, so that's quite cool that they're bringing one back. I want to maybe don't know if I'll use that. Alright, so if we pop this on here with some dimensionals, because why not? Go back to using my Take You Back tool. Okay, and then a sentiment is what we need now. This is, if you have a need for a sentiment stamp, this is my go-to lately. It has, I really like the script of it. So if you're looking for a sentiment stamp, then I would say have a look at that and see if it covers what you need, because it's got some nice bigger fonts like this one, and then it's got some small narrower ones that you can just kind of fit on a scrap. Should have done that before I stuck it all down. Nope. One and a bit of glue. And there. Okay, and there's our card for today. Our center step. Oh, that's not gonna work. Now I'll just wait for that to dry, and then I'll use my little rubber thing and get that off and glue off. So it's not as sticky. So the sentiment needs to go up here. Let's put a bit more glue on just in case. Alright, and then that's our card. Okay, so thank you very much for watching along. I will do the draw for this week and for last week's when I come back and see you next week. I hope that you have a go at doing this. Again, my little cheat sheet is here. Standard A4 cut in half, so 5 7/8 by 5 7/8, and then A4 width. Then you're going to pop it in your trimmer and you're going to score these two marks here first, which is the 1 inch and 2 inch at 1 inch in each side. Then you're going to score at 5 1/8, and then you're going to cut on your 1 inch between the 5 1/8 and the 1 inch. Then you come back into the center panel and you're going to score from this end up to 4 1/8. Okay, so make sure when you're doing your 5 1/8 you're actually doing it from where you've scored your 1 and 2 inch ones as well, so you don't have so you've got that same panel there that ends up being here. Alright, so leave that there for you to take a screenshot if you would like to. Maybe make it a little bit, oh, go away, something's going on there. A little bit closer if that's helpful. And then that is our card, which I'll take a photo of. And I will see you next Sunday. See you later.